Prakash Shrestha sir, welcome to the Gorkha Spirit.
Thank you very much.
Teachers protest. What do you think about this?
Teachers are very important. My father is also teacher, right? So I think whole nations should respect, fulfill the demands of the teacher. In our history, in our Shastra, there is clearly written there in Taittiriya Upanishad of Krishna Yajurved, Bhrigu 10th Anuvak, there is Acharya Devo Bhava. It means teacher as a god. It's written there. Very lately, I think 2400 years ago from today, there is a Kautilya from Takshashila. His famous statement, the teacher are not as simple as, right? They are not simple, it means. They are not simple. The destructions and the creations are his ability. Means the teacher can create also, the destroy also. Even in Pataliputra, the same things happen. He destroyed the whole one kingdom, and the Maurya Bangshi, one statement he created, right? So the teacher is a very important. In current situations, if we see that, the governments have the two aspects. One is administrative or legislative, right? This. The one is making the foundations. One aspect is that. In Nepal, lots of civil servants are there. They are divided into two groups. One is operational, one is foundation maker. One is operational, one is foundation maker. So the teachers are the foundation maker. In administrative functions, if we see that, there is lots of workers, right? There is lots of civil workers there working there. It's also important. But as comparatively, the foundation maker is more important. Foundation maker. And the teachers are those they have ability, they have a duty, they have a responsibilities to make a foundations. Foundations means they make a people such so that they can lead the nations. They are the actors, they will become, right, the good one. So the very important role the teacher has to play within the nations. At that time in our country, the teacher is seen as the least important. Teacher are seen as the least important. Those who have a top, they went back. They went go to the foreign, right? And doctors, they would become doctors, engineers. And after that, only the teachers. Why? Because the dignity of the teachers are not seen as important. Who are very important, actually. That is very important. The same thing happen nowadays. Because for the teachers, lots of, even their wages and salaries, if we talk about that, there's a very minimal salaries that they are working, teacher, right? As a government teachers, if you go to the private school teacher, more leisure, right? So, still they are teaching the student, and everything changed, everything policy changed for the operational department, like administrative, etc. They have a different policy changed. But today, still the teachers are working in the policy of panchayat policy, right? No, there should be reform.
So after the protest, do you think what you have talked is achieved?
I think they get nothing, because teachers should have a dignity, right? But only lied again. He didn't give anything. The dignity is important. Dignity means when they have given the dignity, the top of the students will join the teaching professions, right? Top of the students. Every intellectual person will enter in the teaching professions. But that's not happened. What he told us is the 9-point amendment, right?
Agreement.
Yes. Then 9-point agreement, right? There is nothing. My father live here just 30 days, 29 days, right? 29 days. Always went to the protest. They get nothing. Maybe about the salaries, maybe about the positioning, right? Positioning, okay, they get no problem for that. But the dignity of, the real dignity of the teacher, they didn't find anything. They didn't get from this government. Because why it's happening, why it's not happened? One aspect is the nations don't have anything to give, because this nation is still surviving with the remittance, right? Still surviving remittance. Because why is still surviving remittance? Because the economic policy are still engaged in what people will brought, not Nepalese people will brought from outside. They get their taxes and this nation will survive, right? This kind of policy is there. Because it is very harmful. Because of that policy, economic policy, the use agriculture is farmist. If you go and ask them, everyone is in loss. Because of this policy, economic policy. And this hampered again the teacher protest. Because they don't have anything to give them a teacher, right? Giving money, giving salary, giving wages is another part. But giving respect, giving a dignity to the teachers is a different thing. Oli didn't get anything.
So, Prime Minister...
He doesn't have, yes. Prime Minister do not have any idea. He do not have any idea to protect the dignity of the teachers. He don't have any idea. That's why he could.
Still, Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli repeatedly give statements that more than 50% students fail in the government schools, and you again asked to raise your salary. So, do you think, what does it mean?
See, communist, the fault of the communists is when that they cannot compare. There is theoretically it's called commensurability and incommensurability. Commensurability and incommensurability. That means, however you want to compare, it should have a similar quality. It's called a commensurability and incommensurability. Theoretically, it's a theory, right? Communists have no idea on that point. He compares everything, mango and sheep. He directly compares if they got chance, right? Same thing happens. Actually, what happened? From the panchayat, the policy of the teachers started in from panchayat, 2028, right? Started, still doing that. He should to admit that because of that policy, the 51% came. The inspiration is different. Yes, of course, we can raise the finger against the teachers about regarding the result of the students, right? Of course that. But it is, you took that much of result, that's why your salary will decrease. It's nothing. There's nothing comparison there, right? So this means he doesn't have any idea where to compare, how to compare, what to compare. He doesn't have an idea. That's why this happens. But actually, yes, the inspiration, if government teachers are given something, give and take responsibilities. Accountability is there, right? Government can ask the teacher.
So, a month-long protest is justifiable for the teachers?
See, whoever come into the teacher protest, they are divided into the different political point of views, right? Of course, political point of view can be, because every person, it's a right? Even their organizations, they don't have mentioned the name of the party, but the idea is there. So of course, the teachers are important. So they have a larger point of view, they have a larger prospect, teachers have to think very national wise, right? They have to think. But instead of that, the teacher started to think very minimal political activities, divided into Congress, Democratic or Republic or Communist. Teachers are divided in that ideology. In such a way, yes, of course, while doing vote, they can consult that, they can compare that, right? But rest of the time, teachers have to think about the nations. Teachers have to think about the creating. Previously, I told that the nation builder, right? There's a foundation maker there. So, if they started to think as a nation builder, as a foundations maker, if teachers started to think in that way, the teachers will respect everywhere. They will be respected and they have a strong dignity. But now they do not have. That's why it is also a very thin layer. Still 1 month happened, protesting, but result didn't come. Still they are fine because some are in same political. Congress, Himalaya is there. Party list to one. Such a kind. My father went back to his school. He's not serious. It's a very serious thing. The protecting the dignity of teacher, right? But he was not serious.
The agreement able to save the dignity of the teachers. What do you think?
Sorry?
The protest, the agreement, 9-point agreement, could save the dignity of the teachers?
No, of course not. Because this is just salaries, wages, and some balancing with the political balance only. This will not this will not affect in their dignity.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for joining with us.